We the reason America. Not just with the Civil War, brother. Let's go before the Civil War. Let's go to the Louisiana Purchase. Do you know that this country is 3 times the size it was? Because the Haitian Revolution went to Saint Overture and Jean-Jacques Dessalines and Christophe and Pétion and Cecil Fatiman and Boukman and Macandal when they destroyed Napoleon's army, a slave army, defeated the greatest general the white man ever had. Right. An army of slaves defeated the greatest general the white man ever had. And because the Haitian Revolution bankrupted Napoleon, he sold his American territories to America for pennies on the dollar.
I remember that.
The Louisiana Purchase loan quadrupled the size of the United States of America. So when I tell you America wouldn't be America without black people, America wouldn't be America without black people.
That's a fact.
Black power. Black power. America would not be a superpower without black Americans. What makes you say that? Cotton. Good old King Cotton. Because none of us were alive back then, we don't actually study it much. But cotton was the leading export of America all the way through the 1800s, especially the 1850s and 1860s. We were the dominant global leader in cotton, which was the most valuable commodity in the world. We were responsible for over half of the world's cotton production, and it was responsible for more than half of our economy. The North bought our cotton, and the South took that money and bought Northern manufactured goods. The American government borrowed money from foreign countries and banks to build our infrastructure, which helped ignite the Industrial Revolution, which by about 1890 made our economy the biggest in the world. But how did we build our economy so powerfully on cotton? 2 reasons. We enslaved black Americans and worked them to death. We had a massive workforce of 4 million enslaved Americans. And a lot of people don't know that our government subsidized cotton productions to keep our prices artificially lower, so a lot of smaller third world countries couldn't build their production up. And do you know how I learned this? When I heard Michelle Obama say that enslavement built America, and I was like, oh no, it didn't. Guess what? Yes, it did. Black history is American history.
Hello family, let's talk about something uncomfortable. So, strip America of black Americans, no labor, no culture, no civil rights movements, no wealth extraction, and tell me what's left. The America without black Americans is absolutely nothing. The labor of Americans, the very foundations of America is laid on enslaved black Americans' labor. I've done previous videos about how enslaved black Americans, built the White House, and how they corrected Zoran Mamdi when he said that America was built by immigrants, which is not true. So the very foundations of America is laid on black sweat, the black toil, and so the labor is the very foundation of America. Also, culture that America exports from the black American community cannot be overlooked. There's a lot of cultural, borrowing from black Americans, and more often than not, they try to whitewash some of this stuff. Well, in this sense, it's true that they originate from black Americans. Also, politically and moral, the moral backbone of the American society is from the black Americans. Stuff like civil rights movements and the stuff, they don't originate from anywhere. That's why some of the freedoms people enjoy in America, they may not credit it to black Americans, but it's true that black Americans contributed a huge chunk of that, so that we can have whatever we have today. So when people say that anyone else could have built America, well, it could be true, but ask them why nobody else did other than the black Americans. So in this video, I'll be playing a couple of clips. Credit belongs to the respective creators of the videos. And then I'll be coming in with my commentaries with regards to this very important subject matter. So I implore you to watch the very end, and then if you haven't subscribed, kindly take a second or two to hit the subscribe button so you never miss our future updates. I'll see you at the very end of this.
There's no boycott, economic blackout, or strike that's ever gonna work without the black community showing up. We are the #1 consumers in this country. We are the majority holders of the jobs that run this place. Part of our oppression is keeping us in these diabolical low-waged positions. A part of our oppression is keeping us in these jobs that are going to be taxed the highest rates. And unless Black Americans join in, there's no way we will ever get any movement to work. Black America, I am calling out to you because I know without you, we won't win this battle. A revolution will never happen without Black Americans joining in. And everything that is going on right now is detrimental to our community. I know you've heard about the People's Sick Day. I know you've seen it come across your FYP. So why haven't you joined us yet? You know this won't work without you. And if we don't do this, our children will suffer the worst fate of this in the end. These jobs we hate, they'll hate them more. These loans we can't get, they'll get less of. These schools they underfund will be more underfunded. Without our efforts, there's no way we will fix this, and our children will suffer the consequences of it the most.
America doesn't exist without Black Americans.
That's just facts. Built this whole damn country for free. Every brick, every rail, every road laid with blood and sweat that never got a paycheck. And what did they get in return? Chains, whips, red lines, nooses, Jim Crow, COINTELPRO, prisons, knees on necks, bullets in backs. Ain't no other group forced to love a country that hates them like this. That's strength. That's America. 400 years of free labor built the economy. Cotton alone was worth $3 billion in 1860. That is trillions today. Wall Street, founded on slave trade. The White House, built by enslaved hands. Every dollar ever printed got Black labor backed into it. But tell a racist that and they act like it's a history opinion. They fought in every war. Crispus Attucks bled first for this country in 1770. Black soldiers saved America in the Civil War. Hell, World War II fought Hitler while getting lynched at home. Vietnam drafted in disproportionate numbers. The thanks they got? GI Bills blocked, housing loans denied, neighborhoods flooded with heroin by their own government. Look it up. And you still got racists yelling, "Go back to Africa," like they ain't the original stolen property. Malcolm X said it best. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. The rock landed on us. Ain't that the truth? Black folks got every right to hate this place, but they stay. They fight. They create. They revolutionize. America wouldn't exist without them, and it damn sure would collapse without them.
Black people, you've made your point. Change in America can't happen without Black folks. We need y'all back in the fight. Please and thank you. Aw, do the minorities and white people realize without Black Americans, nothing is really going to succeed? But in reality, you don't want Black Americans because we see how you guys view us when we try and run for office. You guys only see us as cattle and fodder to your cause. You want us to be on the front lines because you know it can get aggressive, shit will turn up, and you guys don't really care about our voice though. And we have had enough of that. And still seeing how you guys are acting in 2026 with Jasmine Crockett tells us everything. You guys don't want us to be in leadership positions. You guys just want us to be on the front lines. It is no different than the world wars when they put the Black people on the front lines. That's all you guys see us, no matter what side, whether it's on the left or on the right. You guys want Black people on the front lines and you want them to put their lives on the line. And enough is enough. You need to fix your own problems and fix your own people and have them finally wake up and stop voting against their best interests. But are you going to do that? No, because you want us to do all your fucking ground and dirty work.
Without Black Americans, everybody, you lose storytelling. You lose the creativity that turns pain into poetry, that turns struggle into style. Without Black America, everybody, America literally loses its cultural and its global voice. Because when you think about it, the entire world's fascination with American culture, everybody, is essentially Black culture. Whether it's from our music to our slang to our film to our sports, It's rooted, and once again, in black innovation. From Beyonce to Jay-Z, from Michael Jackson to Dr. Dre, from Michael Jordan to LeBron, from Barack Obama to Serena Williams, from Denzel Washington to Ava DuVernay. We're not just participants, everybody. We literally define the American culture that America exports abroad to the rest of the world.
I need someone to explain to me what's so hard about understanding that Black Americans have over 400 years of history and culture. What is so difficult in conceptualizing that? We was literally the backbone of and built a new country by force. Like, America would not be what it was and what it is today without Black Americans. 400 years of history, of culture, of families, of generations. What makes you think we're lost at all and don't have any connection to any roots? Right? And like, let's not talk about like lineages to Africa for a second, because we could talk about that all day long. We could never know where our people were from in Africa, and we would still have roots. I don't know why that's so difficult to conceptualize. And actually, you know what? There's always so much talk about Black Americans needing to be proud and have pride in our origins in Africa. And I agree. I agree with y'all. I've been to the continent, one country, Senegal, and I felt so much pride and connection. And I agree so much. I have so much connection that the rest of y'all should have pride in Black Americans too. Where's your pride in Black Americans as not being Black Americans? Our ancestors was your ancestors' cousins. They were family, baby, and they brought and cultivated an entire culture while surviving bondage, a thriving culture, mind you. A culture that we love, talking about having a lot of origins in Africa. Okay, so if we're so connected, right? Have pride in the culture that we built here. Have pride in the culture that literally is the backbone of an entire country. Not just America, but the entire Western Hemisphere, due to forced labor. They still brought culture that thrived in North America, and the Caribbean, and Latin America, and South America. Have pride in us the same way that we should have pride in our origins elsewhere, okay? We're not lost. We have roots. We have culture. We have history.
America is a system of two classes, right? There is the white people class, and then there is the Black people and Latino class. What people don't understand is that both classes need each other to operate properly, right? It's, you know, America, for white people now, Mocha say, oh, we want the Blacks, we want the Latinos to leave our country. No, since I came to America, any because you might be Black people and Latinos in there, painting, outdoor weeding, cleaning, like name it, train station, airports, like man work, any manpower be any Black person here, Latino person here. But you are saying they should leave the country. If they leave the country, I promise you, the white people believe say such jobs are beneath them. Me don't mean white person say or do like okitamoa do nida. It's me bisa say white people na mo say omunko no so mo kwa hwan e bedo sa momondo, but mo say omunko. You understand? So these people are just as important. They make the economy work. They make everything work. You understand? But obi wa ha obet na ha no like Jimmy bano wanye e bia obedru ya wo say obi mom free hanko. Meanwhile, it's not your country, right? And uncophobic, there's some Ghanaians in Swa on my citizenship, and then omo bones them say hey mosaki mo. Them Americans as a mention say oh yeah Ghanaian that's all unnaturalized wa ha. It's not the same as obi e won wa how. It is finyansa finyansa.
Let me break something down for you, right? America is not just a country. It's a machine. Every piece of it. The government, the corporations, the banks, the military, the schools, they're all gears working together to keep this engine running. But here's the truth that they don't want you to realize. This machine does not run without us. Black people have been the engine oil of America since 1619. We built the infrastructure, we picked the cotton that funded Wall Street, and created the culture that powers the world. We are the rhythm, the labor, the innovation, the humanity that keeps this whole thing from rusting apart. And now under Project 2025, that same machine is being redesigned, not to include us, but to use us quietly while pretending we don't matter. They're trying to rebuild America into a system that looks free on paper, but functions like a modern plantation, where your work is necessary, but your freedom is optional, where your voice is legal, but your influence is erased. That's what this Trump regime won't say out loud. They don't want America to look racist. They just want it to function that way again. They don't want segregation signs. They want segregation through policy like housing and wages and education and even access to the truth. See, every machine needs two things, right? Power and control. And Black America has always been the power. That's why they fight so hard for the control. They can't risk us realizing how valuable we are, because if we ever moved in unity, this whole engine would have to be rebuilt from the ground up. But here's the part that they have not calculated for. We're not just workers in this machine anymore. We're becoming engineers. We're creating our own businesses. We're building our own schools. We're mastering technology and globally connecting to Africa in the diaspora. We're learning how the system works so we can build one that works for us. And let me tell you something else. If America ever tries to run without us, without our creativity, our moral compass, our spirit, it'll run loud, but it won't go anywhere. Because without the people who built it, the machine breaks down. So my message is simple. Don't fear Project 2025. Understand it. Because once you understand how this machine operates, you can stop being a cog and start being a creator. You can stop asking to be accepted and start designing your own future. Because the truth is, America needs us far more than we need it. And when that realization becomes collective, when we all start moving like we know our value, no president, no project, no policy can stop what's coming next.
Without foundational Black Americans, America has nothing. No future, no culture, no soul. Strip us out of the story and watch this whole nation collapse in real time. The truth is simple. They live off of us while lying to our faces. They steal our inventions, erase our names, eat our food, copy our slang, dance to our beats, and then dare to act like we're disposable. Without us, they stall. Without us, they starve. Without us, they stop moving. We gave you the personal computer. Mark Dean, a foundational Black American, co-created the IBM PC, holding 3 of the 9 original patents. Without him, there is no laptop, no smartphone, no internet. Every email, every TikTok, every algorithm, his genius built the world you live in. And yet they hand the credit to everyone but us. We gave you video games. Jerry Lawson invented the cartridge system. That invention became the backbone of a $200 billion industry. Every console you plug in, every game you load, traces back to him. But they crowned others kings of innovation while leaving his name in the shadows. We gave you GPS. Dr. Gladys West, a Black woman, mapped the earth itself so satellites could guide you. Every Uber ride, every plane, every ship, every map app, without her, the world is lost. Yet how many schools teach her name? We gave you Mars rovers. Dr. Ayanna Howard, an FBA roboticist, coded the brains that let those machines move. Without her, they sit dead on red dirt. With her, the stars open. We gave you the space race itself. Katherine Johnson's calculations launched Apollo to the moon. Mae Jemison took us into orbit. Victor Glover lived months aboard the ISS. Aisha Bowe is about to fly with Blue Origin. They love to say they conquered space, but who actually put the numbers on the board? It was us and our children. They are already building the next world. Elena Annalee Wicker, accepted into medical school at 13, NASA intern and founder of Brown STEM Girl. Taylor Richardson, astronaut Starbright, raising millions to fund science opportunities for girls. Across the country, FBA youth are coding AI, inventing medical devices, filing patents. They are the living proof that the God particle never stopped moving forward. It just got younger, sharper, and more fearless. Why us? Because we are convergence. We are the only people forged through every storm. African, Indigenous, European, Pacific, threads woven together into one people. Unlike bottleneck populations, we are the widest blueprint on Earth. That means adaptability. That means survival in changing climates and shifting societies in space itself. When the world bends, we don't break, we bend it back. And at the core of all of this is melanin, the God particle. Eumelanin, the armor shielding DNA from radiation, vital for space and a warming planet. Neuromelanin, the spark in the brain linking rhythm, creativity, and memory to dopamine itself. It's not just pigment, it's a superconductor, a living archive of biological technology no lab can synthesize. It's why our rhythm moves the earth. It's why our memory survives erasure. It's why every beat, every dish, every invention keeps birthing revolutions, whether they want it to or not. And still, they steal, they rename, they rebrand. They hand Elvis the crown for rock and roll while burying Little Richard and Chuck Berry. They call soul food Southern cuisine while stripping it of our struggle. They turn hip-hop into pop and sell it back to us watered down. They whitewash history while living off of our frequency. So here's the question. If we gave them the computers, the games, the maps, the rockets, the music, the food, the slang, the swagger, what did they actually create without us? What is America without FBA? Nothing but a parasite feeding on its host. And the truth is, they know it. That's why they fight so hard to erase our names. That's why they build walls around opportunity. That's why they sterilized us, jailed us, flooded our neighborhoods with drugs, and still try to bury our brilliance. Because if the world knew the full truth, that their entire reality is built on our genius, the revolution would already be here. So let me say it plain. We don't just create culture. We are the culture. We don't just build tools. We are the architects of survival. We don't just adapt. We are the blueprint for the future. And that future isn't just 3D. It's 5D, 7D, infinite. Because melanin doesn't just protect the body, it encodes memory across dimensions. Our rhythm isn't just sound, it's vibration that reshapes reality. Our culture isn't just influence, it's the frequency of creation itself. So here it is. The sun is rising. The God particle is awake. And if the world lives off our genius, our inventions, our rhythm, our blueprint, then the future is not theirs. It's ours. The question isn't whether we're ready. The question is, how long are we going to keep letting them eat off us without paying the price of admission to the world we already built? Because the revolution isn't coming. The revolution is already here. The only thing left is for us to step into it.
So you said you're a second generation white person, and in your mind, Black America is the ultimate American culture. Well, thank you, because it is. I'm going to read some stuff to you. Hold on, okay? In culture and entertainment, we create or perform American popular music from jazz, rock, blues, hip hop, R&B, and soul. They all stem from Black traditions. Dance to modern music is also created by Black communities. Speak using everyday American slang. Most of that slang comes from where? African American vernacular English. That's just how we talk, and everybody copies. And they rename it, by the way. Let's go on over to some film. Black culture and talent drive narratives, music, and fashion trends in Hollywood. Okay? We're also going to talk about rap and freestyle. That is a uniquely Black innovation that shaped global music. Okay? And how about start or go viral on social media? Yeah, Black Twitter, TikTok. Yeah, it shapes that. Yeah. And if you want to go viral, everybody knows. Talk about us. Black literature and art reveal truths about American life that's often ignored. And how about streetwear, sneaker culture, hair aesthetics, all trace back to Black innovation. Black Americans even define global rhythm. Yeah. And there wouldn't even be a super fantabulous tasty holiday in America without soul food. Okay? We've been cooking and yes, it's ours. All ours. Now let's get down to the traffic, shall we? Because we wouldn't even be able to drive as safely as we are now without the traffic light, and that was invented by who? Black America, Mr. Morgan. Then those modern day elevators that we ride in so much. Yes, the automatic doors come from who? Yep, Black America. Even ironing clothes easier. Sarah Boone, Black America. Enjoy clean sugar or chemical products. Guess what? Guess who revolutionized the refining process? Black America. How about this? How about this one? Use a microphone in a phone, hearing aid, or video call. Okay? James West. His invention is used in 90% of today's devices. Yeah. And then we can have safe laser eye surgery, all because of a Black woman, a Black American woman, Patricia Arabath. Love her. And how about shipping fresh food across the country? Yeah, don't forget about the refrigerator truck, invented by Black America. Mr. McKinley, by the way. Now, we have secure homes with surveillance, a functional light bulb. Lewis Latimer created the carbon filament that made Edison's bulb practical. So without Latimer, there would be no light bulb, a functional light bulb, meaning that Edison did not create it. It was Latimer, okay? Because it works. He drew the patent. He drew the diagram for the patent. Yes, he did, because Edison couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He couldn't even describe how it actually worked, so that had to be Latimer. I don't know why they tried to steal from Latimer. And the Super Soaker. How about that? Your kids can even have fun because of Black America. Yeah. That was invented by a NASA engineer, by the way. Yeah. Black America even made it possible to run automated machinery efficiently, cool skyscrapers like the Rockefeller Center, use advanced computer processors, navigate with GPS. But bust this. Without Black America, we would not have a functioning democracy with civil rights. Okay? Because of Black America, we understand nonviolent resistance. We understand how to build successful protest movements, define modern feminism, and use modern protest language. Yeah. Now let's go on to education. Because of Black America, we can study race, power, and oppression accurately, not inaccurately. Okay? It was Black American educators that pioneered freedom schools and community-based learning. People always forget that one, okay? We teach U.S. history truthfully. Without Black history, American history is incomplete. So if you're ever learning history, hello, if you're ever learning history and there's no Black America in it, it's a lie. Or incomplete. Without Black America, understanding democracy's contradictions would not be possible. We are the group that has exposed more of the contradictions than any other group. Even when it comes to exploring African civilizations and contributions, guess who championed that? Black American historians. Everybody else wanted to just dump it. Okay? But it was Black America who went back and decided, hold up, we're going to go and grab some stuff and make it known. Without Black America, the United States would not have been able to build wealth. At all, period. When it comes to cities, infrastructure, none of that. Whatever. Agriculture wouldn't be what it is today. That's because of Black America. And let's go to sports, by the way. It's Black American athletes that have revolutionized almost every single major sport. Yeah. Black America. Here we are. Without Black America, no one will be able to sell cool, quote unquote, or edge in consumer culture. Black style drives global branding and marketing. Without Black America, no one will be able to create $1 billion music industry, fashion, or entertainment markets. Hip hop alone is a multi-billion-dollar industry. All by itself. Well, let's go into science, tech, and medicine real quick. Bank blood during wars. Dr. Charles Drew developed the blood bank system. Yes, he did. Use telegraphs and train communication. That's from Black America, Mr. Woods. He made railroads much safer. How about diagnosing disease with x-rays in space? Okay? Yeah, that's Black America right there. Design safer public restrooms in trains. Latimer, there he is again. He was a serial inventor, you know. Latimer was the one who created the train bathroom systems. And then here's one. Invent signal processing systems used in telecom and internet. Okay? Let's talk about the global influence real quick. Export American culture globally. Black music, the way Black people, our language, African American vernacular English, and fashion are America's biggest exports. Influence global youth culture. Lead multicultural coalitions. Black activists pioneered coalition building from civil rights to climate justice. That's us. Build spiritual traditions in the U.S. Gospel and Black church culture shaped America's religiosity. And Black America also teaches resilience in the face of injustice. And that was only 50 things. I could go on and on and on. I could literally go on and on and on with this list. So yes, what you say makes absolute sense. If it wasn't for Black America, there would be no quote unquote America as we know it today.
In short, dear white people, no. I saw this on Threads and I want to add to it a little bit. I just want y'all to know that when y'all say stuff like this, this is equivalent to I have black friends, or this is equivalent, and this is equivalent to I don't see color. Right? When you say stuff like this, this is slave owner mentality. Black people, you've made your point. First of all, you've made your... Don't say... What? Okay. That's a little egregious. Change in America can't happen without black folks. We need y'all back in the fight. Please and thank you. As if we're supposed to now rush because y'all are tired of the bullshit that we once warned you about. Mind you, Kamala Harris's entire campaign was based on, hey, vote for me or else this is going to happen. So it's not like we didn't give y'all a warning. It's not like we have been warning. It's not like we have been saying stuff for forever to y'all, right? But now we're supposed to rush and try to like help the country gather itself because you're tired. No, the answer is no. This is slave owner mentality. Why? Because this is the same manner in which a slave owner was able to gather slaves. Oh, shoot, we need to take over a country. And we can't do it on our own. But we know black people are strong. We know black people have this type of capabilities. We know that if we have them, we can make them do these things for us because we cannot do them on our own. And so what did y'all do? Y'all went over. Y'all grabbed us. Y'all took us. Y'all experimented on us. Y'all ate us. I will never get over that. Y'all ate us. Y'all took our teeth and put it in yours. You experimented with medicines on us. Still to this day, we are enslaved in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if you've heard of the new Jim Crow law, but prison was set up for us, to enslave us, black people. It just happens to have other criminals in there because people are going criminal. Criminals are going to criminal, right? But when you say stuff like this, it's not going to hit with us. Now, I'm only addressing this because I have so many new white followers that are like, oh my gosh, we're in support of you going to school. You know, I want to go to law school because honestly, I want the tides to turn. Mostly for my family. I don't want my niece and nephews to have to grow up in a world where they are not respected, not loved, not seen, not heard. And then we're back in the 20s, the 30s, the whatever. Right? I don't want my niece and nephews to have to experience that. I don't want my family members to have to just continue to go through all of the bullshit that's happening. But we are not here to save y'all. Y'all have to. And just like she said at the end, until white people decide white supremacy is kicking their ass too, white supremacy will remain intact. And that is exactly what is currently happening. There is a white supremacy all up and through our current administration. From the White House to the Congress to the Senate. So no, I'm personally not saving y'all. I just don't want my family to have to go through the bullshit. And in turn, that is going to help y'all because I can't just do it for them. Specifically, if I want to make laws and policy and stuff, it's going to affect more than just my family members. But specifically, it is for them. And so it would be nice if y'all are like, oh shit, maybe I'm going to law school. Maybe I'm going to try to make the tides turn. Maybe I'm going to do something as a white person to help everybody else around me. Because as history shows and as present day shows, black people ain't going to be heard anyway. I know we all love Jasmine Crockett. She's amazing. I love her work. Absolutely love her. But she's a black woman, and I would not be surprised if she does not get that seat. Until white people decide that white supremacy is kicking their ass too, white supremacy will remain intact.
So let's start this off on the premise that, America without black Americans is absolutely nothing. The very foundations upon which America is laid is the labor of black Americans. Black Americans built the early United States economy through forced and later exploited labor. in 1800s, crops like cotton was America's number one export. And who cultivated this? The enslaved black Americans. Tobacco, rice, sugar. These were some of the economic pillars of the United States earlier. So beyond these crops, free labor also financed institutions like banks, insurance companies, railroads, universities. So also the southern wealth and relates to the northern industrial growth in the United States. So as we sum this up, the United States became a global power before industrialization because of black labor, my fellow viewers. So America didn't bootstrap itself. That lets that sink. Black Americans were the very boots. Beyond the foundation on labor, let's talk about the consumption of Black Americans and why it really matters in the United States, making it part of the reason why America really can do without the Black Americans. You see, America's Black Americans are the most influential consumers in the United States. They spend trillions in lifetime spending. For example, in 2025, they are estimated to have spent at least 2 trillion US dollars of the economy. That's a huge proportion of the US spending considering the population. So they drive demands in fashion, music, sports, technology, food and beverages. That's why you will even find companies, chasing black trends first, and then they market to other people. Entire industries also test products in black communities and then sells to others. So America sells to black Americans, then resells black culture to the world. Again, America cannot survive without black Americans for the obvious reasons. Cultural and global soft power. Americans' cultural dominance is black created. Look at music genres like jazz, blues, rock, R&B, hip hop, dance, slang, street fashion. These are all constructed by Black Americans. There's also dominance in sports like NBA, NFL, Olympics are dominated by Black Americans. Hollywood influence built on Black reality and no cultural export dominance in the Black community. So if Black Americans go silent, what it means essentially is that America loses its voice. The other important consideration is on inventions and innovations. Black Americans solve real world problems and that American depends on. For example, we have traffic light signals systems. We also have refrigeration advancements, medical tools and surgical techniques, agricultural efficiency tools, home safety and convenience devices. But it's also important to note that most of these inventions were stolen, and patented under other people, and the black community who actually participated actively in this were ignored due to racism. So American runs on ideas it didn't actually credit. Also, the contribution of Black Americans is evident in stuff like agriculture and food systems. Black Americans shaped how America eats, farming techniques from Africa, like rice cultivation expertise, southern cuisine for foundations, modern food supply routes. There's also this important, food that is associated with Black Americans, soul food, which is American comfort food. BBQ culture, is part of frames American identity. So even Americans' taste buds are, black influenced. Another consideration that makes, black Americans indispensable is the military and war efforts. Black Americans fought for the freedoms they actually didn't receive, We have revolutionary wars, civil wars, world wars, Vietnam and beyond. They often denied benefits after the service. So they're used in the wars and then they help in defending the country and then themselves they get oppressed. So black Americans, defended a nation that later decided to question their humanity. As we near the end of this, we cannot ignore the fact that civil rights and democracy itself are shaped by black Americans. Black Americans forced America to live up to its very constitution, voting rights, desegregation, labor protections, free speech precedents, Without black resistance, America stays closer to apartheid. Black Americans didn't just fight for themselves, they helped fix America. Additionally, in terms of education, intellect, and movements, Black Americans have been, playing an instrumental role towards this. Black thinkers reshaped Americans' thought, legal strategies, protest models used worldwide, social justice frameworks. These are contributions of Black Americans, academic fields and discourse, modern activism, which is actually copied globally. So America exports freedom language Black Americans actually wrote themselves. And lastly, as we come to the very close of this, Black Americans still power key sectors in America. Like you see, healthcare is dominated by Black Americans. Transportation, public service, stuff like entertainment, as we said before, sports revenue. Entire cities rely on black labor while still underinvesting in black communities. So America still needs black Americans, except that it still just doesn't want to accept that. So with that said, without black Americans, there's no early wealth, no global culture, no moral credibility, no democracy. Remove black Americans from America and what you're left with is nothing but a myth. So as I close this, I implore you to weigh in the discussion in the comment section. Add your opinions. What you think about the subject matter as far as the value of Black Americans, which is often overlooked in the American society, is concerned. I'll see you guys in my next video.